So is that all? Oh. Yeah. Alright, your total is 159. Will that be cash or card? Card, please. Okay, wait, let me get another one out. Okay, except, never mind, it declined. Alright, I'll just pay with some cash or something then, I don't know. Sorry sir, but if you can't pay for the food, then I'm afraid that you're gonna have to leave. Alright then. Bye. Yes guys, I'm broke. And while that is not a true story, my card actually declined on the bus, it does reflect my life and the fact that I'm poor. But I do actually have one mediocre skill, which is making games. So why not make a game and sell it for money so I can become rich and buy a mansion. So I first did some brainstorming for this game and kept thinking about fruits, specifically lemons and mangoes, because a game like that would stand out in the vast ocean of good games like Toilet Towers and Ralden Ing. Now that the characters of the game have been decided, which are gonna be a bunch of fruits, I thought of the theme of the game, and I kept thinking about those videos of people rolling down hills chasing cheese. So that's what it's gonna be. You're gonna be a bunch of different fruits, and you're all gonna be rolling down a hill trying to get to the bottom where there's a block of cheese, and whoever gets there first wins, and there's gonna be multiple rounds. And you can also place traps to kill your enemies. And after a quick consultation to Reddit and the 2 friends that I have, I think we're set. So after coming up with the game idea, I had to move on to probably the biggest problem that I'd faced throughout this whole game: what network architecture I should use. To allow players to connect to each other, there are 2 different types of network architectures that games use: peer-to-peer and client-server. Peer-to-peer is cheaper and more scalable, as they don't require a server for anything, except the host. However, they are easier to hack for users, very dependent on the host internet, and they usually cannot host a large amount of players. While client server is harder to cheat in, as everything has to be authorized by the servers. However, it is very expensive, as you have to constantly pay for servers and is subject to DDoS attacks. So as a broke 16-year-old, you can obviously tell which one I picked. Peer-to-peer. It was obviously peer-to-pear. For the peer-to-peer, I used Unity netcode because it was the first one that I found, and it seemed pretty similar to Photon.pun. For Valorant Rain, I used downloading best game of 2025. Download on HRI, best game. And also a 2-hour tutorial. For the first few days, I just messed around with Unity netcode, and I came to the realization that I'd have to pay money. This is because with Unity netcode, for players to join each other, they'd have to port forward and expose firewalls, and we both know that they don't want to do that because it could lead to some insecurity to the network, especially if they're streaming and stuff. So I'd have to use Unity Relay, which just sends players a code which they can use to join instead, and that costs money! However guys, it is actually very cheap, so I think I will be fine for now. Hopefully. So after understanding Unity netcode and Relay, I next added a lobby and a map selector, which as of recording, I actually did change the map selector. So the next things that I added, which were prophesied to me in a dream, were the actual maps, because there really isn't a lot for players to do over here. For now, there will only be 3 maps, and there's gonna be no art, because art's gonna come later, when the game's better. So the 3 maps are A, the tundra, B, the desert, and C, the twisting turns of treacherous terror. That was tough, right? And for the last part of this amazing devlog, I added a character selector. Each character is going to have different traits like speed, acceleration, drift, turning, and handling. So basically all stats of a car, but they're fruits instead. And if you want to see them, you just have to press F. And unfortunately, I ran into the first, but not last, multiplayer error. The client and server movement don't sync up. After you start the race, both players start moving automatically, and while they are both moving at the same speed, they are not synced up. So I spent about 3 days on this trying to fix it, but nothing works. So I had to just get rid of the players moving automatically, so now you have to press. But I really like that idea, so if anyone has any suggestions of what I can do to fix it, then send them my way, because I need help. And that is all that I've done so far according to the script, but I've actually done a lot more, like adding traps, making a map editor, and yeah, just those two.